when we look at the entire system with all the parts together, we've got better data, which is going to make our operation smoother and more streamlined. So when work requests, for example, come in from our online portal, those get submitted and they're automatically moved to the work approvers in the IWMS system. Go ahead. Now, that work can be things like work management or some others we'll talk about in a few minutes, but let's say it is work management. As that request is approved and assigned, those requests get updated so that that person who requested it is automatically updated and given information on their request. From that point, we can do other functions within the IWMS as well. Things like estimating and work on contracts or work with vendors, track time and attendance, do full job costing. What's it costing us to do each of those work orders in terms of labor, materials, equipment, contracts? And what's ultimately then, what is our cost of ownership for these assets? Now that work information also then gets sent via a mobile device to our field technicians. And we just saw one of our mobile apps, the asset management app, but there are others as well. So that out there in the field, as those work requests are transferred, the people in the field can get their work right there without having to keep running back and forth to the office to get new work orders printed, things like that. And they'll be able to perform work in a number of areas. Work management, they can update assets, as we just saw. They can put in requests for materials that they need to do their work. They can, as we saw in these slides earlier, get inventory from your stock rooms and apply that to the work orders. They can keep track of their time. Actually, they can let the mobile device track their time that they're using. Now, as they're going through and doing things such as updating the assets like we just saw or performing work, those work requests are going to get updated automatically and real time. And then that information is going to ultimately be given back to the requester so that they're constantly updated. They'll know maybe we're waiting for materials, or they'll know that the work has been completed. Next slide. So when you have that entire system all working together, you can imagine the overall time savings and the optimization that that can give you. Now, we just looked at one part of that today, the entering or updating of new assets, and there are quite a few impacts of that as well. Tony, you want to talk a little bit about the time savings that you've encountered?
Yeah, well, I think the old way, as you saw, it took more than one person and taking the pictures and going back and doing the data entry and whatnot. I think we conservatively estimate it takes about 20 minutes totally to go to the site, come back and data entry and get a piece of equipment in. Whereas as you saw in other slides, you saw one of my techs, Margaret, basically updated and did a piece of a new asset in about 2 minutes by herself. And when you look at what we had to do when we brought on a previous building, our 9th Street office building, the old way would have took us about 133 man hours at least to go through and do that. And with the new way, we were able to actually upload these things and do them in about 13 hours total, and it was major savings.